Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Having a little bit of lighthearted fun here because at this point in time around the world you have so much happening that is becoming very, very evident. Okay. For instance, a 7.5 earthquake hit in Indonesia. Apparently one of the tsunami buoys was not working. Nobody, the infrastructure was failed. The infrastructure failed. The buoy wasn't working. So Indonesia turned off the tsunami warning before a very, very devastating wave hit. At the moment, one tally that I saw was 345 dead. Some 200,000 people displaced, homes obliterated, flooded. When there is water damage, okay, you have health problems no matter what. Just like me, you're noticing I've been coughing for a bit here. I'm in a bottom floor, and this building is built, literally dug into the side of the hill. So I'm kind of below ground here, and when it gets wet and rainy, there's seepage through the walls a little bit. And although now that I understand that issue, I've got the air circulation good enough to keep the moisture coming out of here, I'm having to go through and find everything that's moldy or got mold on it, and that's why I'm coughing. Okay? So this is what all of these people in flood zones are also going to experience. You also have all of this flooding going on. You have all of these people. South Carolina, North Carolina, Michigan, Tennessee, Colorado. Texas is getting inundated now for something like the 5th time in that many months. Okay, Houston is once again flooding. Galveston is flooding. They were having flooding rains a month ago. There's just this continuous series of storms coming ashore, so nothing dries before it starts to rot. And you have all of these literally states that are being inundated in the United States, South America, Mexico, Central America, Indonesia, China. Japan is getting hit for something like the 5th hurricane in 3 or 4 months, and it's got another one coming in right behind that. They had actually labeled it 30W, so it's Invest 30W, which will probably become a typhoon at least. Okay, but it's set to go up. Japan, China, Japan, Korea, somewhere right in that area, the path is going to go up and around. So you have major flooding. India is being flooded, Pakistan, Bangladesh. These are places that all exported to the United States. China exported to the United States. It's got major flooding going on. Nigeria and places like this where they do a lot of palm oil production. You have major flooding going on. Cities and large towns and stuff are being totally displaced. Congo, I guess, is having another round of the Ebola. There is another country in Africa that also is having an outbreak of Ebola. So you have all of this stuff going on. You have all of this pollution that every time there's a flood, all of this stuff gets mixed around more. Okay, and that includes down here the warfare. Okay, remember, the United States loves to use depleted uranium bullets. They're very good armor-piercing things, and they also, because the military knows that this is an absolute fact, this is part of the reason why they love using it. When you litter the ground with 50 caliber depleted uranium bullets, you literally radiate the ground to toxicity of lethal dose. If the children go pick up one of these things, they take this radioactive material into their house and they kill their whole family. The military knows this. It is despicable. It is literally chemical warfare. Okay? Or some kind of atrocity. I don't care how you want to rate it. They are doing something that is so deadly that even if that other country were to immediately declare peace and surrender, the USA can't clean up their mess. The country there, they may not even understand what they've been hit with. Yeah, so totally disgusting, totally beneath Geneva Conventions of being proper and all. Definitely in the chemical warfare, definitely in the psychological warfare, definitely in the disgusting, corrupt attitude type stuff. And that's down here in warfare, and that radiation pollutes the soil, which, of course, when it rains and floods, moves it along downstream. Okay? So that's why I say, you have all of this going on. You have all of this rain and flooding going on every continent except, well, you probably have something raining down in Antarctica, but it's probably more likely snow. But you have all this going on. You have the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, everybody else everywhere, okay? M5 and however many different British James Bond type agencies they have, and Spain has, and the Vatican has its Jesuit priests that they have been sending out since what, 1000 AD, I guess, is when the Jesuits started going out to take over countries by getting in and starting terrorist systems, just like the United States goes out and funds Al-Qaeda and Bin Laden in Afghanistan to get the Russians thrown out so the United States can move into Afghanistan, start the major opium production again, get the heroin back onto the streets of the ghettos, and keep that all completely obliterated with bad back. And Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles were three of the ghetto areas that were absolutely named as distribution points for all the North Iran-Contra drug cocaine empire. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, the guy walked away an absolute prince and a hero of America for making drug addicts and killing people. But you have all of this crud going on. You have all of this stuff happening because with the increase in moisture, you got more mosquitoes, you have birds and animals and stuff going places they don't normally go. You have literally places where the floods have gone up, and you have the roads that were covered in water now, I'm not going to say covered in dead fish, but obviously, thousands upon thousands of dead fish everywhere, rot, disease, and flies, and who knows what carrion eating animals, and all of this is going to be going on, and everything's going to be transmitting something somewhere, good or bad. You have no control. Goldman Sachs has no control over it. Rothschilds has no control over it. George Soros, who likes to play both sides, which this is actually amusing. They played the disaster side, they now get the disaster, and they don't know what to do about it, okay? George Soros plays both sides, so yeah, he's caught between a rock and a hard spot right now with both of his feet stuck in cement, okay? That's long since hardened up. He got nowhere to run, okay? Same with the Rothschilds and how they thought, oh, we're just going to do this and we'll go over here because this is nice and safe. And they now understand there's no place safe. Every part of the planet has disaster going on. Every part of the planet is moving. Everything is changing. The theoretical, Antarctica, bases and stuff like that are just as vulnerable right now as anything else. Things are happening down there that that the scientists don't know what to say about, so they're just keeping their mouths shut about, or it's getting buried from the public eye. All kinds of stuff going on. You've got the anti-stuff that are running around. Oh, there's military. There's alien bases down there. There's spaceships going up and down. And of course anybody with any logical ability knows you can go down into that area on your own boat, literally sail down there, get within a very close distance and get on to Antarctica and walk around. So there's no military fleet encircling Antarctica. I have had my own family members go down there. I had to edit several thousand photographs for the person. So I know what came back, and I know that what they had to be from their camera. Obviously, nobody went in and deleted anything through the middle of it. But you have all of these things going on, and you have all this stuff going on. Well, I'm going to throw up a little bit of fun. Stop and consider that the Native Americans of North America, they had the prophecy as they were getting wiped out in the 1700, 1800 time period of there would be a European person who was European and Native American blood who would come and rise up to bring forth the return of their spiritual behaviors of the planet. I get to fill that, don't I? I'm along here, and definitely, I definitely agree with the spiritualism of Native Americans. I've got my rain sticks, which are Native American. I got my drum, which is fashioned off of, kind of a native drum type of thing, but it's a spirit drum, so it's totally my own thing. There's this whole thing that plays through that. Then you have the Palladian stuff, and while I can't say I definitely had never heard of Palladians before I started it, I started in 1978. I started writing a science fiction thing about me being from a blue star and coming to help and do stuff here. And it was my own thing, just kind of trying to see if I could create some kind of logical progression of a story kind of taking part of who and what I am, what I know about, where I would end up being. Okay, Palladians, star people, I believe the African and the Australian Aboriginals have the blue star. You have the blue Kachina in the North American, Native American Aboriginal beliefs. You have the you have the Palladian, star people coming to the planet to help get people off and fix things and all of that. And granted, I was born on the planet and all, but what am I doing? I'm offering you how to get up off the planet, do something with yourselves, become something, try and be something, make something of what's happening of your lives, and possibly save your butts and keep something of what this was. Okay? So I actually fulfill part of that too. And you can run right on down through a whole list, and you will probably find a little bit of me and how I am and what I do, because I am a whistleblower. I fight corruption. I can stand up against the entire military government. You don't see me cowering away because Trump's coming after me with the entire United States military. So this is why I say there's some interesting stuff that you can play with out of this, and the fact that I'm up and talking and publishing this stuff, and the super elite are now realizing that they are literally 2 feet in the grave. They got dirt up to their knees, and there's nowhere for them to go and nothing for them to do, that they're kind of stuck. They almost have to try and figure out how to come be my buddy so that maybe they get a chance to get out of here. Because I guarantee you, Rothschild's got an awful lot of grandchildren, and Rockefeller's got an awful lot of family he'd like to have, living for a while and stuff like that. So these people having maybe 3 to 5 years left kind of puts them on a spot.